Do you want to publish a book, but you don't feel like you have enough money to bring it back to life? Or you're just someone who wants to publish a book for free, which, there's no problem to. Free is free. Well, in this video, I will share with you how you can publish a book without spending a penny. Let's get into it. So to figure out how you can publish a book without spending a penny, we really have to think of the different parts of the process that cost money. So the first thing is the content. Some people, they hire ghostwriters. Some people, they hire ghostwriters and that's their entire self-publishing business. But for you as the author, you can just write the content for yourself. This is the thing that most authors don't have a problem with. And if you are struggling to fill up the pages for your book, creating an outline is a really good tactic, and just figure out where you want to go with your book. I also went more into detail in another video about how I wrote 25 books before graduating college and some of the tactics that I got from that experience that you can use to write your book, get it done, get it published, and then move on to the next one. But writing the content yourself, I feel like a lot of people don't have a problem with that. That's the starting point to being able to write your own book without spending a penny. So one of the bigger expenses associated with getting your book ready for release is the editing. And you've got some people who will spend thousands of dollars to have a good editor. And if you do have a good editor, it definitely helps with your book, but it's not something that helps with sales. So people have different thoughts on this. My belief is that you produce a great book that has high value. It may not be perfect in grammar and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's solid. And that's going to be a book that people enjoy. And you could be selling copies of your book instead of going through like an extra 3 months with having an editor or something like that, because that extends the timeline of how long it takes for you to publish a book. So those are my thoughts there. If people point out mistakes in your book, as a self-published author, you can always go back and change it for future editions. That is one great thing about self-publishing. Like, people forget, you can literally update your book and change it tomorrow. So when it comes to the editing, you can eyeball it yourself. That's usually what I like to do, just to speed up the process, allow me to come out with more books. Or you could ask a friend for help so you get a different set of eyes on your book. Now, if you do go the editing yourself route, one of my pieces of advice is to make it in small chunks. So rather than feeling like you have to edit the whole book in one sitting, I would do it in small chunks, small intervals. And just to make it easier to read, make the font at least size 13 and double space if you can. You may need 14 font, 16 font, whatever font you need, and double spacing really helps with speeding through the editing process. You do add pages to your book, which is nice when you're selling. You don't want to make the font too big and spacing too big, but it is a way to also add pages to your book and make it easier for you to go through the editing process. I usually do 1.3 spacing for my books for anyone who is wondering. And having that space between the lines just makes it easier for your eye to go through and look at each line and see the different mistakes that are there. And there's also a really great resource called Grammarly, which is kind of like an AI editor. So you can use that free resource to check your writing and see some of the possible mistakes. Grammarly also goes into more detail about passive voice versus active voice. So it is definitely a great free tool that I recommend for people who want to figure out how they can make the editing process a little easier. So we will be linking to Grammarly in the comments, in the description. Something else that is free though, hitting the like button for this video. So if you are enjoying this video so far, definitely leave a like. It helps more authors see this video. So anyways, hit that like button. Let's get back into the action. And the final thing that authors spend a lot of money on is their book cover. Now, there is the option to just spend $5 on Fiverr, get a really high quality book cover, which I've done for a lot of my book covers. They have come out really great. But let's say you don't even want to pay $5 for a book cover. In this case, you can use Canva to create the book cover. Canva gives you a lot of different text fonts to choose from. They give you a bunch of pictures to choose from. You could also use Google to search for pictures, add them to your book cover, but make sure that you are searching under the category labeled for reuse, because then that means you can include them on your cover of your book. So like Pixabay is a really great resource. For instance, like you'll see a lot of Pixabay pictures if you do that type of a Google search, because these are the pictures that are labeled for reuse and you can use them on your book cover. So that's just some quick tips on coming up with the book cover. Canva gives you a setup for if you want to create a Kindle cover. If you want to do a paperback cover, you have to go into Amazon and get that custom design. And then it's just a matter of playing with their margin spacing to ensure that your cover is within their boundaries. So that's pretty much what it takes to create a great cover for your book. And then it's just a matter of, looking at other covers to see if you are creating a cover that is going to stand out and get attention versus a cover that, you can technically use KDP to create your own cover. They have that built-in option. I just don't recommend using any of their covers because they don't really stand out based on my experience. But Canva is a really great resource to create Kindle book covers. It helps with paperbacks if you get the dimensions right. And it's just a great tool overall for people looking to create more images for their presence. So those are the key things that a lot of authors spend money on when it comes to getting their book ready for sale. And then comes the marketing. Now, if you guys want me to come out with a new video on how to market your book without spending a penny, definitely let me know. But on this side, I'm more of the idea of let's spend money on stuff like Amazon book ads to drive more sales to the books, because money allows you to make the sales scalable and it gets you in front of more readers. So I recently did shoot a video about how you can use Amazon book ads to sell more books, which we will be linking to in the description of this video. But I do recommend to not spend a single penny. From book idea to book launch is very possible. I don't recommend it for everyone, but it is a great option out there for people who feel like they don't have the funds to publish a book. And then it's just a matter of the marketing, which I'm more of the side of spending money to make it work. So anyways, if you want more videos like this, if you are an author who wants to grow your business, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified when I come out with new videos on this channel. And also let me know in the comments which of these tips was the most helpful for you. Do you have any other hacks we can use to not spend any money to go from idea to published book? And also, guys, let me know if you want that video on doing the book marketing without spending a penny. Anyways, thank you for tuning in to this video. We'll see you in the next one.